Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson, I will teach you how to calculate continuous probability. Of course, there is a PDF version on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, to work out the probability from 0 to 1.2. So that means we need to find the area under the curve between 0 to 1.2. Now, in this case, because the function is given, so we just find the area by integrations the functions, okay? So that is equal to, so we integrate from 0 to 1.2 of this function here because the functions within this domain, okay? So keep that in mind. So 0 to 1.2, so that becomes 1 over 9 x squared respect to x. So now we just integrate this. Now don't forget integrate of x power of n dx. So we just go n plus 1. So xn plus 1 and we divide it by n plus 1. Don't forget we add a c. Now in this case, because we work out definite integrations, so therefore we don't need to plus c. Okay, keep that in mind. So to integrate this, so this will give me, so I can take 1 over 9 out, makes it simpler. So I take 1 over 9, integrate from 0 to 1.2 x squared dx. So you don't have to take out 1 over 9 out, but it's easier if you take it out, okay? So make it simpler. So now I just integrate x squared. So x squared, so 2 plus 1 is 3. So x to the power of 3. So let me just write this first. So that becomes x. So 2 plus 1 is 3. And then we divide by 3. Okay, keep that in mind. And then from 0 to 1.2. So there you go. Or you can take 1/3 out. It doesn't really matter. So just do it straight away. So 1/9. So x becomes 1.2. So 1.2 cubed over 3. We minus 0 power of 3 over 3. And 0 power of 3 is 0 anyway. And then divide by 3 also 0. So the answer is this. So now I just put on the calculator. So I just go 1 over 9. And then brackets 1.2 cubed. And then fractions over 3. And then we minus 0 is 0 anyway. So just close brackets equal. So that's the answer. So let me just write in fractional form. So 8 over 125. So that is equal to 8 over 125. So there you go. Part B. So we need to work out the probability from 1 to 2.5. So that is the area of the function between 1 to 2.5. So that is equal to, so integrate, so from 1 to 2.5. And the function is 1 over 9 x squared dx. So that will give me, so what I do, I take the 1/9 out, easier. So 1 over 9 integrate from 1 to 2.5 x squared dx. So I just take 1/9 out to make it simpler, that's all. So that will give me 1 over 9. And then we integrate. So that means 2 plus 1 give me 3. So x to the power 3. And then we divide it by 3 from 1 to 2.5. So now we just replace x with 2.5 and then we minus x with 1. Okay, remember that. So, or I can just take 1/3 out first. So to get rid of the fractions. So if I take 1/3 out, that is exactly the same as this. 1/9 times 1/3. And then that's give me 1/9 times 1/3 is 1 over 27. So let me just write 1 over 27. That become x power 3 from 1 to 2.5. So there you go. So now we just evaluate this. That will give me 1 over 27. So 2.5 power of 3, we minus 1 to the power of 3. So 1 to the power of 3 is 1, so I just write 1. So that will give me, so I just put on a calculator. So I just go 1 over 27, and then we brackets 2.5 power of 3, and then we minus 1 to the power of 3. But we know that 1 power of 3 is 1, so I just put 1, we close the brackets, equal. So there you go. So I just press SD button. So 13 over 24. So 13 over 24. So there you go. Second one. So we need to find the probability from 1 to 2. And then the function is 1 over 16 times by the square root of x minus 1. So we just need to find the area under the curve from 1 to 2. That's what that meant, okay? So that is equal to integrate from 1 to 2, 3 over 16, and then x minus 1 square root, respect to x, of course. So what I do now is I just simplify this by just take 3 over 16 out and write the third form into fractional indices, okay? So keep that in mind. So I just take 3 over 16 out, integrate from 1 to 2, and square root of x minus 1 is exactly the same as x minus 1 power half, okay? So that is x minus 1 power half and dx. So to integrate this, remember, if we integrate ax plus b power of n dx, we just need to add 1 to n. So ax plus b and 1 plus n is n plus 1. And we divide by n plus 1. And then we differentiate inside here. Okay, so that's a rule. So differentiate ax plus b will give me a. There you go. And then we add a constant. So keep that in mind. Okay, so now we integrate this. So let me just write this down first. So that is 3 over 16. And then we have a half plus 1. So a half plus 1 is, we just go 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 over 2. So x minus 1, 3 over 2. And then we divide by 3 over 2. Now remember, if we divide by fractions, we flip the second fractions, become multiply. So we divide by 3 over 2. We flip that, becomes 2 over 3. So we times 2 over 3. Keep that in mind. So we write 2 over 3. And then we times by the differentiations of this. So differentiate x minus 1 will give me 1. So that is times by 1. And this is from 1 to 2. Okay, so let me just fix these brackets up. So there you go. So now I just simplify this a little bit further. So that is equal to 3 over 16. And then 2 brackets x minus 1 power 3 over 2 over 3 times 1 is 3. And then this is from 1 to 2. So what I do, I need to simplify this a bit further. I can just take 2/3 out, or I can times 3 over 16 in. Okay, so in another word, these 2, we can cancel with this 16. So that give me 8. And these 3 cancel that, so give me 1. So 1, 8, okay, outside brackets. So that is 1 over 8. And then that x minus 1, 3 over 2, and from 1 to 2. So now I just need to evaluate this, okay? So to evaluate this, I just go replace x with 2, and then we minus x with 1. So 1 over 8. So 2 minus 1. Power 3 over 2. And minus, so x is 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so 0 power of 3 over 2. And 0 power of any number is 0 anyway. So we'll just write like that. So that will give me 1 over 8. And we have 2 minus 1 is 1. And 1 power of any number still give me 1. And that will give me 1. Okay, because 1 minus 0 is 1 as well. So the answer is 1 over 8. So there you go. Part B. So calculate the probability that is x is greater or equal to 3. So that will give me integrations from 3 all the way to the maximum domain. That is 5. Okay, so that is 5. So from 3 to 5. So keep that in mind. And then the function is 3 over 16 x minus 1 square root, and then respect to x. So now, of course, I write in a simplest form. So that take the 3 over 16 out, integrate 3 to 5, x minus 1 power of a half. I just rewrite in a different form. That's all it is. Okay, now I integrate this. So a half, we add 1, so that gives me 3 over 2. So that is equal to 3 over 16. So that is x minus 1. And then we add 1 to a half is 3 over 2. Then we divide by 3 over 2. So we flip it, become times 2 over 3. So I just write 2/3 here. 2 over 3. Actually write like that. And then we differentiate inside. That give me 1. So therefore we divide it by 1. Like that. And then from 3 to 5. So there you go. So now I just simplify this. So that will give me 3 over 16 and 2 x minus 1 power of 3 over 2 over 3 from 3 to 5. So now I just simplify this one more time. So this is this 3, I cancel with this 3, and this 2 I simplify. That give me 8. So the top is leave with 1. So that become 1/8. So keep that in mind. So 1 over 8, and then x minus 1, and 3 over 2. Okay, so that's 3 over 5. So now we just need to evaluate this. So that is equal to 1 over 8, and then 5 will replace with x. So 5 minus 1. Power of 3 over 2 minus, and then we have 3 minus 1, and 3 over 2. So there you go. So now just evaluate inside the brackets. So that is equal to 1 over 8, and 5 minus 1 is 4. So that is 4 power of 3 over 2 with minus, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So 2 power 3 over 2. So keep that in mind. And bracket. So now I just need to simplify inside the brackets again. So that is equal to 1 over 8. And don't forget, 4 power 3 over 2. 4 is 2 squared, correct? And then we have 3 over 2. So we time them in because a power n power m is a power n times m. So keep that in mind. So therefore, we have 2 times 3 over 2. So in another word, these two cancel out because 2 times 3 over 2. So give me 3. So therefore, 2 power of 3. But then 2 power of 3 is 8. Okay, keep that in mind. So it's 8. So that means inside here is 8. We minus. Again, let me clear this first. 2 power of 3 over 2 is exactly the same as 2 power of 3 power half, if you like. That's what that meant. Okay, we're using this rule again. So now that becomes 2 power 3 is 8. 8 power of a half. But don't forget, power half is square root. So it's exactly the same as this. And then we know that 8 is 4 times 2. So square root of 4 is give me 2. So 2 square root 2. So that is minus 2 square root 2. So there you go. But then I can take out the common factor. In this case, the common factor is 2. So I can take this out. So I can take like 1/8 times 2 with bracket. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 2 divided by 2 cancel out. Give me 1. So that is 1√2. So there you go. And again, this simplify this. That give me 4. So the answer is 1 over 4. 4 minus square root of 2. Or it can be written as 4 minus root 2 over 4. So there you go. This is how you work it out. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi there, I'm back. How do you go? So let me just go through them with you, okay? Before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's get into it. So that is equal to the integrations from 0 to 3. Because the domain, the smallest value is 0 to the maximum value is 6. So in this case, it's less than 3. So that means from 0 to 3. Keep that in mind. And the function is 3 over 729 x power 2 dx. So that will give me, so what I do, I just take out the coefficient of x squared. So it makes it simpler, easier to integrate. Okay, keep that in mind. So that is integrate from 0 to 3 x squared dx. So that is equal to, so integrate x squared. So that means 2 plus 1 is 3. So x to the power 3. And then we divide by 3. So let me just write this out. 3, 7 to 9. And then x to the power 3. And then we divide by 3. And 0 to 3. So what I do, I simplify this first. So this can be just simplified like that. Okay, that give me 1. So that is 1 over 729. So equal to 1 over 729 and x to the power 3 from 0 to 3. So now I just evaluate this. So that is equal to 1 over 729 and then x to the power 3. So 3 to the power 3 minus 0 to the power 3. And then we know that 0 power 3 is 0. So which is minus 0. So what I do, I just put that in the calculator. So I just go 1 over 729 brackets 3 to the power 3 and then with minus 0. So minus 0, we can just ignore that. So that brackets. So there you go. So the answer is 1 over 27. So that is equal to 1 over 27. There you go. Part B. So we need to find the probability between 1 and 4. So in another word, we need to find the area from 1 to 4. Okay, keep that in mind. So integrations from 1 to 4. And the function is 3 over 729 x squared dx. So that is equal to, I take out the coefficients. So 3 over 729 integrate from 1 to 4 x squared dx. So now I just integrate x squared. So that means 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So x to the power 3. So that is equal to 3 over 729 and x to the power 3 divided by 3. And then 1 to 4. So let me just simplify this first. You don't have to, but easier if you simplify it, okay? So that's all. So you simplify this with this. So that give me 1. So that would give me 1 over 729 x to the power 3. And from 1 to 4. So there you go. So now I just evaluate this. So that is equal to 1 over 729 and we have 4 power 3. 4 power 3 minus x to the power 3. And then we know that x to the power 3 is 1. So we just write 1. Easier. Okay. So therefore that is equal to, so I just put down the calculator. So I just go 1 over 729 brackets 4 to the power 3. I press a cube and minus 1 and I close the brackets equal. So there you go. 7 over 81. So 7 over 81. So there you go. I hope you got all of them correct and thank you so much for watching. Bye.